updates on sports stories across the globe. We've got Aaron Akirajala. Great to have you back. Aaron, it's been a while. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, I'm doing good. Good morning to you, Rufai. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Aaron.
Yes, it's good to be here today. And
your vacation?
Not bad. Short-lived, but it's good to be here again.
Welcome.
Yes, okay, let's actually start it off as Nigeria's Davido is actually being featured in the World Cup song. As we build up to the World Cup in Qatar, a lot is still expected. Controversy still in the air concerning human rights violations and also major topical issues. But nevertheless, as they always say, whatever happens, the show must go on, and a lot is expected from the organizers as they will be hoping to put up a World Cup for the ages. But nevertheless, Nigeria's own Davido has actually featured in a track alongside some other superstars from the world, and looking at how things are actually played out right now, it's looking like Nigeria will be heavily represented, not on the football pitch. Remember, Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup in Qatar, and a lot is expected from other nations that have actually gathered for this particular fiesta, which will be taking place in November. And as it stands right now, Nigeria will be hoping to at least see Davido there. And it's a good one for Nigeria and Afrobeats, I must actually say. It's getting the recognition it deserves globally. And away from that, let's turn our attention to tennis. Roger Federer has arrived in London for the Lever Cup, and this will be his final hurrah. As he actually stands right now, Roger Federer, alongside several other superstars in the tennis world, actually took a walk in London yesterday at the Murray, connection Novak Djokovic, and quite a number of stars, Alexander Zverev, not forgetting Tsitsipas also in the mix. This is Roger Federer training for what will be his final hurrah. It's going to be a doubles tournament. It's got a doubles match on Friday. So let's see what actually becomes of. He said he's going to be. It will be quite emotional for him as against feeling the pressure or probably hanging his racket for the final time. And this is a man that's played tennis with so much poise and grace. This is a man that was the fans' favorite. He did so much, won quite a lot of laurels, 20 to be exact, talking about the Grand Slams he actually won. He's the man that has made the most money in the history of tennis. And as they always say, all good things come to an end. And Friday is the date. And this is actually throwing it to the rest of the next gen, as they like to call them in tennis. Who can deliver is left to be seen. Who can actually push things to the next level is left to be seen. So let's actually see how that one actually plays out. So we're wishing them all the best in this particular tournament. And the Lever Cup certainly is not the biggest of tournaments, but certainly would always deliver when it matters the most. Now let's turn our attention to the Super Eagles. The Super Eagles are in Constantine as we speak in Algeria, preparing for that particular friendly game on Tuesday against Algeria. So a lot is expected. 24 players are in camp as we speak, and the injured players have been replaced, and their replacements have actually landed in Constantine as preparation in high gear. Nigeria will be playing Algeria. This is the second time we're playing them in a friendly game. But Nigeria will remember in 2019 at the Nations Cup in Algeria. I was there. It was quite painful in the third place in the semifinals, where we were hoping to get into the finals, but ultimately Riyad Mahrez and his penalty, his free kick, did Nigeria one heavy blow, and Nigeria had to settle for a third place match on that general. But all that's quite in the past right now, and Nigeria will be hoping to use this international friendly to assess things. For Jose Pizarro, and he will be hoping that, as it stands right now, that he can actually build on what is left for the Super Eagles, because you and I know this, the earliest Nigeria will be participating in any major tournament will be in the Nations Cup. So for now, international football will be few and far between to come by.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, the match in Algeria next week, right?
Tuesday.
Yes. I read a story saying that George Finidi and Shurumu will not be there because after their appointment, Shoromo as goalkeeper trainer, right?
Yes.
And Finidi as
Judge.
assistant coach. That the Nigerian Football Federation up to now has not told them how much they will earn. They have not even been given any letter of appointment. So next week, will be shortchanged because there are indications that they will not show up because at least they want a letter of appointment for certainty. When Jose Pesero was appointed as head coach of the national team, he got a letter. The amount that he will be paid was advertised. So what is the problem? Maybe you have an idea. Then, of course, Roger Federer, by the time he plays his last match on Friday, I mean, that would be truly the end of an illustrious career. The reason he's leaving is because of injuries that he has been struggling with. So he's not in top. He's not been in top form. So 20 Grand Slams, distinguished career from 2003 to whenever. For more than a decade, he was the dominant person, and he's stepping out of the game with a lot of grace. And there's no doubt that he has made his mark. He's truly a legend. And the good feelings, the outpouring of praise, friendship that we have witnessed in his own case, I think is remarkable. I mean, you'll recall that when he first announced that he was retiring, Serena Williams was one of the persons to
say, welcome to the club.
Welcome to the retirement zone. Incidentally, both of them are 41 years old. And he himself, Rafael Nadal, say, oh, my old driver, you'll be greatly missed. And he reciprocated that gesture by saying that at the Lava Cup, it would be nice if he could be paired in the doubles match with, Rafael Nadal. Well, whether that happens or not, I think the tennis world will be most grateful to him for his talent, for his distinction, for his grace, and his gentlemanliness, unlike some other people that we know. They don't let us go there.
That's it.
Finally.
Different strokes for different folks. And not everybody can be as gracious. Not everybody can be as pristine. Not everybody can be as sleek as Roger Federer. That was his style. It worked for him. Someone like a Nadal would probably want to just use brute force to actually approach every single tournament and every single match he actually goes into. And it worked for him. Roger Federer, he's sleek, he's slimy, he's all about winning. His mentality is next to none, and that actually worked for him. And Dr. Abbas said that Roger Federer was one of a kind. One of the most gracious in the history of tennis, if you'd ask me. But try to take a dig at...
No, I didn't mention anybody's name. I just made a general statement.
So you wanted to answer Dr. Abbas's question first about, why Finidi has not been given the contract before I speak about Federer?
I'm not saying that the point is, I'm not sure why he has not... This is not the first. I must actually say that this is not the first that has happened. This will not be the last. Because time and time again, we hear coaches of the national team. We don't know. Now, the point is this.
So
now, the truth is this. I must say this. We don't know what they discuss behind closed doors, because I do not always want to hear that coaches did not sign the dotted line. Because when you were called in, I'm sure you had a discussion with the federation, and the federation said something to you that you felt was enough to begin work. And all of a sudden, probably 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year down the line, they start crying foul. The question was this: What did they tell you? What did you guys agree? What gentlemanly agreement did you guys have that made you probably start your coaching career with the national team?
So I just wanted to spare a thought for Rafael Nadal. A great man, great tennis player. Roger Federer, beg your pardon. Great man, great tennis player, a class act. One thing that we'll forever remember about Federer was his grace at which he played.
Yes.
The backhand, the forehand, the underleg play, excellent.
Poise.
He was to tennis what Nike, the Greek god of victory, was to victory. He was everything to tennis, and he gave it all, despite the pain, the injury. And also, I'd like to pay great tribute to his wife, Mecca.
Yeah.
Because Mecca had a professional career, and when she had an injury, she put all her stuff and energy into supporting her husband. And she went everywhere around the world with the children. She was a stabilizing force in Roger Federer's life, and she will continue to be. And big kudos to her, because we don't celebrate the woman behind every great man. We just think it's about the great man. Without Roger Federer, without Merca, there would be no Roger Federer. So I pay tribute to him. And also, it just shows you the transition from one generation to another. If you remember that famous match where Roger Federer did beat Andrea Gassi, that was the end of that era.
No, but the point is this.
I'm just trying to plot the chart of transition.
Now, the difference is, I don't think we might have a dominant trio or a dominant duo or a dominant force like we had in the Federer, Nadal, at the same time Murray, then Djokovic.
But the question is, who are we to say? We don't know these things. We're not soothsayers.
No, I'm just saying, based on what you've seen from
based on what you see now. But you never know.
We don't have enough consistency in the game right now.
Somebody might come up. An unknown Alcaraz might dominate. He might not dominate Alcaraz. We don't know. But him beating Andrea Gassi in that game was a transition to an era. And if you look at most of these guys now that they are ramping things up after 23 years, they came to that limelight in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. That's around the time Serena and Venus won US Open, won Wimbledon, started pushing forward. And it's been a glorious 20 years for them down the line. And most of them are probably plotted before this. I think the last time Serena won a Grand Slam was like 5 years ago. Federer to about 3-4 years ago. But now that transition is happening, that end is coming. And it just shows that there's so much to be looked forward to the next era. We don't know what will happen. Maybe it will be dominance, maybe it will be anything. We don't know. But the good thing is we celebrate the times they shared. And we in Africa, we also like to claim Federer because his mother is South African. So he's our own. So welcome. Okay. Welcome home.
Aaron, before you go.
Yes,
we want to talk about the Battle of Britain, scheduled for December 3. Our brother Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. And David Hayes, has been quoted as saying, he thinks that Anthony Joshua is the only fighter in that division that has what it takes to beat Tyson Fury. But,
probably they're just trying to make
it. But Joshua now is 32 years. Yes. This is not 2010. But do you think David Hayes is right? So that we can begin to look forward to.
They're just trying to make
the WBC belt.
They're just trying to hype this bout bigger than what it should be. Now the point is this: I blame Eddie Head for all that has happened to Anthony Joshua. They did not see the bend in the road that took Anthony Joshua to the top, which was Vladimir Klitschko. They did not see that happen. Anthony Joshua got to the top, and they did not know what to do. They were going for the easy fighters, and look at where it landed them. He should have probably had a bout against Deontay Wilder ages ago, and that did not happen. Now he got knocked out. Not before even Usyk. Before Usyk even
what's the guy's name? Luis.
No, Ortiz. Okay.
Ortiz.
Yeah.
No. The Mexican guy, the stocky guy.
That happened, and that sent Anthony Joshua into a corner that he wasn't sure of. He tried to bounce back, and he found himself with Usyk. And Usyk has schooled him once, schooled him twice. Right now, he's been unraveled. What then happens to Anthony Joshua now? He has to now take a very big fight to save his career. If he couldn't beat Usyk, what's the... people talk about Tyson Fury as a phenomenon in boxing because he epitomizes everything a heavyweight should be. And he has shown it time and time again. That bout is only going to go one way. But because sports, you cannot just put a hand on it and say this is what is going to happen. We are hoping for an upset. And that is why a lot of people will tune in to watch or probably go to Cardiff or wherever they're going to actually stage it. Yes, to make it happen. Doctor, they're hyping it for they're hyping it more than it is, but they know that this is a huge payday for Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua might be flawed once again.
Well, it's 75 million pounds at stake.
Yes.
And Joshua is the underdog. Miracles still happen.
No, I agreed. I'm hoping a miracle happens because Anthony Joshua needs one. He's a hard worker, but I think he has peaked. He's a hard worker. You can see, when he talks, when you see him training in the gym, you know that this man wants to get to the top. But sometimes when you go against someone that is just better than you, like in the case of Usyk, and I don't know, Tyson Fury, I don't know if Tyson Fury will be careless.
Can it be a Muhammad Ali?
Let's wait and see.
Anyway, thank you.
Let's hope the stars align for him. I'm hoping so. Hoping so greatly.
Thank you very much, Aaron.